I'm wearing a tie because this is a presentation that I think I'll look back on. There's a few of them along my career, but I'm going to look back on this one because I'm very excited about the next couple of months. Peter's presentation that I just followed was called Silver Asymmetric Opportunity. That wasn't what I entitled this, but in a long way, if you take a step back, it's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Forward-looking statements, give me 3 months, there's a lot to look forward to. Now, listen, 4 years ago this month, I stepped in as CEO of Blackrock. I was a long-suffering shareholder. Many of you are today, I feel it. You know what, when I joined, it was 3 cents, $1 million market cap. This thing wasn't halfway down, this thing wasn't circling the gutter, it was down the drain, and it wasn't a news story either. It wasn't a shell, there was a management team, there was a project, but they didn't give a damn. I came in, we rebuilt the team within about 6 months. We went from 3 cents to 37 cents by November. It was really easy. We traded tens of millions of shares. Then the unthinkable happened. We lost about 82% of our market value in the next 4 months. We had nothing, we had no discovery. There's nothing stopping the flow. COVID was happening. The world was shutting down. Along the way, in January, February, we picked up a project that immediately became our flagship. We announced that at 20 cents. 3 weeks later, we were 7 cents. By June, people were calling for my head. They said that this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's a charlatan. He talks too much. Can you believe it? I know. And, you know, we had a lot of fun reading those the month later when we hit. There's something about new discoveries. We went from 7 cents in March to $1.60 in July. We timed it with a good market, obviously, but what we did was a proof of concept. We unlocked the door on the geologic understanding that no one could deny at that point. A year after our first drill hole, we had First Majestic Silver come in, not once but twice. 2 years after our first drill hole, no one had ever drilled the project before. We had a maiden resource out. It established the project as one of the highest grade undeveloped silver projects in the entire industry. The month after, we were included in the SIL ETF, the largest silver ETF in the world. We're the smallest entrant. Tonopah is the real deal. But man, discoveries are so much fun. I've done it. You see that? That's what discoveries are all about. Now, here we are, 3 years later. We put out our resource at a time where ounces, the month preceding we put our resource out, silver ounces were trading for $3. Today, the same high-grade ounces are trading for $1, 1/3 of what they were. You do the right thing at the wrong time, you feel some pain. Doesn't take away the discovery you got, and when things re-rate, they come back and they come hard. Now, I've talked here probably 5 to 10 times so far. I've been invited by David Morgan, Brian London, Peter multiple times. You guys don't need to hear about Tonopah again. Those ounces have been there for 15 million years. They're not going anywhere. We know it's getting bigger. We've hit some serious step-out potential there too. In our search in Tonopah for gold and silver, we actually staked a whole bunch of land right around our project. Turns out it's not just a silver district. It's emerging as one of the largest lithium districts in North America. We didn't hit gold or silver in our exploration drilling last summer when we were looking for it. What we did hit was lithium in every drill hole. We immediately brought in a partner. They've spent their own money. They went to twin some of our holes just a few months ago. Every single drill hole they twinned came back 35 to 85% higher grade than what we drilled. It's a completely different kettle of fish, silver, gold, lithium, different processes, different expertise. These guys have stepped out. They've drilled out 7.2 square kilometers. Every single drill hole hit. And guess what? As I was saying, Tonopah, our ounces in the ground with what we've got, our silver gold resource, already one of the highest grade in the industry. Apparently, we've got massive amounts of lithium sitting right at surface in the cover rock. We're right next to a $5 billion project, NPV. Right now, we're getting zero credit for that in our market. When the resource comes out, which they're working towards by the end of the year, that will be fundamental value added, but I'm not even going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about the project that got me here, the project that got Bill Howell here, former head of exploration of Placer Dome. It's called Silver Cloud. It's in northern Nevada, the richest gold mining area in the world. But in terms of valuation, this in February of 2022, high-grade ounces were trading for $3 an ounce in the ground. $3. Today, if you look at the 3 highest grade stories in the industry of undeveloped silver projects, it's us, Vizsla, Dolly Varden. We're trading for $1 an ounce. Leverage works both ways. Once again, in a declining market, yeah, you're going to feel a lot of pain. In February 2022, silver was $26. It was there for a sustained period leading up to that. We don't need silver to go to $30. If it stays at 25, 26, I'll tell you what, all the majors that aren't making money at 21, 22, they're going to start doing M&A. They're going to start doing premium deals. What I'm going to talk to you about today, though, is that asymmetrical risk reward. As Rick Rule says, you want loaded up on the reward and very little risk. And what I'm going to tell you today is going to be about a new discovery, the highest grade discovery we've made in 3 years in a part of Nevada that's, where two different legends were created along the way. What I'm saying right now is that this is a risk-free discovery for you guys. We're going to be following it up in 2 weeks with a fully funded drill program where we're going to be going up, targeting the highest grade structure we've ever hit as a company. Tonopah right now is the second highest grade project in the industry. This is orders of magnitude higher grade. Silver Cloud, 45 square kilometers right next to the world's largest gold mining trend, the Carlin Trend, but we're actually on a different system. We're on a system that's known for high grade gold and silver, and it's known for the highest grade gold and silver in all of Nevada. In fact, what we think we've got is 45 square kilometers that represents the missing link between the two of the highest grade historic mines in Nevada. 20 years ago, Midas Mine was the biggest cash machine in the industry. It was Fosterville. We think we might have the extension of that deposit, and what we've hit already backs that up. This is a major mining project. No juniors really ever drilled this thing. 20 years ago, as Hollister next door, which produced 34 grams per ton head grade, over an ounce per ton. In 2014, Hollister was the second highest grade mine operating in the world, according to mining.com. Right next door to that and on trend to Midas. These two discoveries, Midas and Hollister, were both walked forward in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, right around the time that Silver Cloud was staked by a very famous prospector. He went on to be a billionaire one day when he started another company. He had 56 projects. That's when I first learned about it. The deal was he was going to put every single project he had into this company. It ended up going to $4 billion, that company. He owned a third of it. I said, Carl, tell me about the project you kept for yourself. Silver Cloud. That's how I became involved in it. That's why I wrote a check in Blackrock before I knew anything about the management team at the time. No one had done anything. Teck had it. Placer Dome had it. At a time when gold was declining. In fact, our chairman, Bill Howell, he had this project with Placer Dome, and he hit 12 meters of 5.5 grams per ton mineralization on a brand new discovery in 2001 when gold was going like this. It was 250. It's the third largest gold mining company in the world. They weren't doing grassroots. They lost their budget. 20 years later, I gave him the opportunity to get back behind the discovery and give him the keys, and he thankfully accepted. What we did last year on a 3 drill hole program, we managed to do what the major mining companies couldn't. This is a massive system we're on. It's one of the largest mercury producing districts in all of North America. And from 1910 to the early 1970s, the Ivanhoe district, of which we're in, was the biggest mercury producer in all of America. And guess what? Silver Cloud, it's not named after silver, it's named after Quicksilver. It accounted for half of all of the mercury produced in this district. Why is that important? Because mercury is the #1 pathfinder element for these low sulfidation hot spring systems. It bubbles up to surface. It shows that you're on top of something. Silver Cloud's the largest underexplored high-quality epithermal district in Nevada. You know how I know that? Because in the 1980s, a self-described tree farmer named Robert Friedland got his start there next door at Hollister. It's called Ivanhoe. It's what the district's named after. He liked it. They went and did some shallow drilling. They hit some low-grade gold, a halo, as these things tend to happen near surface. That was his first mine he ever operated. Another up-and-coming young executive named Pierre Lassonde made his name up at Midas. Midas produced 3 million ounces of gold out of veins that were 1 meter to 3 meters thick. There were 3 of them at 30 grams per ton head grade. Midas was the reason why Newmont was profitable in the early 2000s. Now, what we have is interesting because this is the missing link. This land was staked right as Hollister and Midas were hitting one foot in front of the other. And because of a the Teck and Placer both didn't want to drop the projects. What they did was they added their own NSRs to it. For 20 years, it had a 10% NSR before Blackrock added. Who the hell is going to drill the thing? Heaven forbid you hit something. Blackrock, we're the first group to come in, clean up that deal. All those NSRs are gone. It's just a 3.5%. And what's interesting is Hollister, right next door to us, those veins were mined right up to our property. They go east-west. Midas, the veins go north-northwest. We're the missing link. Now, what we did just the other day in December on a 3-drill hole program when we really had no mandate to do it was, well, we spent our warrant money that came in the door. I didn't want to have junk in the basement and drop the project without giving one more kick at the can. We hit 70 grams gold, 600 grams silver. It lined up perfectly, north-northwest. It's in the same volcanic rock package that Midas is. Half our project is actually, looks like Midas style. It's a big, big, thick volcanic rock package. And the other half to the east, that looks super Hollister style. Hollister, it's all held in the Paleozoics. It's uplifted up there. Hollister, we've got a whole bunch of outcropping veins that surface adjacent to Hollister we haven't even tested yet. But at Northwest Canyon, we've now got a structure that we're going to hit the drills with on a fully funded program in a couple weeks where we're going to offset that discovery. 500 meters of strike we're going to prove up. We don't need many more than that. We don't have to build anything at Silver Cloud. There's 2 mills owned by Hecla. We're the donut hole in Hecla Mining's claim block up there. First Majestic, one of our shareholders, owns Jarrett Canyon, 30 miles from us. This is a story that's been 20 years in the making. I don't know, but it would be amazing if 4 years after Bill and I joined the company on the back of this project, after all we've been through, after our ounces in the ground at Tonopah, which doesn't matter if we miss at this. Our valuation is priced off our ounces, and we're poised for a re-rate there. But if we hit here, I don't know of any other company going after a new 70 gram per ton, 600 gram per ton silver discovery in the best jurisdiction in the world on trend of what was the biggest cash machine in the industry. So buy my stock, don't buy my stock, but don't say I didn't tell you. Cheers. Thank you.